Top story right now, the Russian President Vladimir Putin outlining Western involvement in Ukraine, saying NATO's pushing the conflict to a new phase, and Russia will be forced to realign the crosshairs.
There is an attempt to substitute concepts, because we are not talking about allowing or forbidding the Kiev regime to strike our territory. It already does that with the help of drones and other means. But when we are talking about the use of precision weapons, long-range Western-made weapons, it is a completely different story. The fact is that I have already mentioned this, and any experts will confirm it, both in our country and in the West. The Ukrainian army is incapable of striking with modern Western-made long-range precision systems. And it can only do that by using intelligence from satellites, which Ukraine does not have. They get the data only from EU satellites or from the United States. In general, from NATO satellites. That's the first thing. The second and very important thing, maybe the key one, is that the flight missions in these missile systems can in fact be inputted only by NATO military personnel. Ukrainian servicemen cannot do this. So it's not a question of allowing the Ukrainian regime to strike Russia with these weapons or not. It is a question of deciding whether or not a NATO country could be directly involved in a military conflict. If this decision is made, it will mean nothing else but the direct participation of NATO countries, the United States, European countries in the war in Ukraine. This is their direct participation. And this already, of course, significantly changes the very essence, the very nature of the conflict. It will mean that NATO countries, the United States, European countries are at war with Russia. And if that is the case, then having in mind the change in the very essence of this conflict, we will take appropriate decisions based on the threats that will be presented to us.
Meanwhile, the US Secretary of State and Poland's foreign minister met in Warsaw to mull over the current restrictions on Ukraine's armed forces. The pair of diplomats took some moments to heap praise on each other, highlighting masses of Western troops based in Poland. So earlier we discussed with a pair of guests the potential for this entire conflict to expand and the consequences for a head-on battle between Russia and NATO.
Attacking Russia.
Then RT go to a fucking American podcaster. They were doing so good there, man. I almost thought it was news for a second. Then like, here's our American podcaster. Fucking hell, it looks like I've got ice cream in my chin when it's just like grey fucking hair. Anywho, so there's Putler out there outlining it. If these missiles are used, it means direct involvement by a NATO country. Technically, that means a NATO country's attacking the Russian Federation, and he's like, well, it means that Russia's at war with NATO. Now, in the West, this is getting dressed up as, well, again, both sides are dressing it up for their own benefits to make them look like the good guy, you know. Both sides can do it. Both sides are doing it, depending what you do watch, depending what flavour of jobby supper you get. Get it? Got it. Good. Cat cheese, no cats or cheese were harmed in this filming.